What is that, a briefcase?
It's a messenger bag.
Oh, is it delivering the message my mom dressed me?
Before I get into this shit show of a video, I want to preface this by apologizing. Why am I apologizing? I hate the fact that I'm gonna have to subject you to 10 minutes of the US Inbetweeners. I can genuinely say I don't think I've ever watched a show that is this shit. From the casting to the horrendous jokes, it's honestly painful. I assume firstly that everyone, or at least most people watching this, have seen the original UK Inbetweeners. It's a classic. Some of the most well-known references across British schools originated from this show. The characters were relatable, the storylines were genuinely funny, and the second movie had an ending that literally everyone was content with. So please, someone tell me who signed off on an American remake. Reading the reviews, you can tell that this show is terrible from the get-go. 2 out of 10, it just doesn't click. 1 out of 10, painful to watch. 1 out of 10, disgraceful. 1 out of 10, an insult to the original. 1 out of 10, major fail of a remake. 1 out of 10, complete and utter load of shit. But enough of just calling the show bad. Let's delve into why. Firstly, let's discuss the characters. With the UK Inbetweeners, the 4 main characters were cast perfectly, and they perfectly pulled off the stereotypical not cool but not sad group of friends. They made you cringe, but you weren't cringing at the actors, you were cringing at the characters, and that was the whole point. That's what the show wanted you to do. Compare this to the US version, you are definitely just cringing at the actors. This is especially the case with the guy who plays Neil. He just doesn't portray the dopey teenager that Neil was in the original. Instead, he does shit like put a fruit bowl on his head. That's so funny, bro. He also does this obnoxious laugh every 5 minutes, which is just really annoying. It's not just the actor's fault though. Whoever the casting guy was needs to take some responsibility. Will in the original looked like the typical posh private school nerd who looked out of place in a public school. In the American version, Will just looks like a normal average kid. He doesn't look like a nerd at all. Simon in the UK version is awkward, whereas Simon in the US version is just forgettable. When we move on to Jay though, fuck me. What was the casting guy thinking? The UK Jay was one of, if not the most beloved character from the series. James Buckley perfectly portrayed that cocky prick who pretended he was a top shagger when he's actually a virgin. This guy, however, he's just infuriating to watch.
I spent the entire summer trapping beaver. Okay, that's the thing about RV girls, is that they all have the same thing in common.
They're poor?
No, these girls are sluts, dude. And they'll do it to you for hours. So good at sex now.
Really? So what is the best way to do it then?
Deep. Just like real deep to the ball.
In essence, the UK characters are not only cast better, but just funnier in general. The US ones are not only wrongly cast, but unfunny as fuck. Aside from the awful casting, the problems with the US version continue. Instead of coming up with new and original jokes or gags to make American viewers laugh, the US Inbetweeners either completely word for word steals scenes from the UK version, or just takes a scene and changes a few things and the scene becomes horrendously unfunny. I'm sorry I have to use so many examples from the first episode of the US version, but it's the only episode of the US Inbetweeners I could find. Yeah, just adding this in while editing. I did actually find more episodes, but I didn't have these episodes when I actually recorded the video, so this video mainly focuses on just episode 1 of the US Inbetweeners, so apologies for that. But if this video does well, I will review more. If it doesn't, I won't. Anyway, continue. I know this example has been used by other people, but let's take for example when the group see Will's mum. The UK version is good. There's a few "your mum is fit" jokes, and the scene is just overall funny.
She's fit.
Yeah, I'd fuck her.
Thanks very much.
No, but I would though. Wouldn't you?
Well, if she's my mum, no.
But if she wasn't?
She is though, so...
No, but what he's saying is, if she wasn't your mum, would you fuck her?
Oh, are we still doing this?
So you would fuck her?
No.
The US version, on the other hand, is unfunny as shit.
Dude, is that your mom?
Yes.
Told her not to come and pick me up.
She is hot.
Yeah, I'd renub her in a second.
I'm not gonna ask what that means.
Renub is boner backwards. I'd literally renub her so hard that my penis would be pushed back into my body.
Haha, I bet all the kids in American schools will be using that funny term renob from now on. Good one, Jay.
Renub her so hard.
Another example is when the group bunk off school and get lashed, and the parents question why they all bunked off. In the UK version, Will makes a speech about how he thinks they're all alcoholics, and the parents burst out laughing, and the scene ends with intoxicated teenagers being mocked by their own parents.
We're alcoholics. You have to help us. All we can think about is where the next drink is going to come from. We're literally out of control. Today we even talked about heroin. With your support and your love, we think we can make it. So please, as our parents, help us.
In the US version, Will says he's being bullied and starts crying, and the scene just ends like that.
It was all my idea. I couldn't go back to school. I'm getting bullied again, Mom. It's happening all over again.
Yes, it just ends there. No joke, nothing funny being said. It just ends with Will crying. Is that what we're supposed to be laughing at? Another point I briefly want to mention are the side characters, who play a pretty big role in the UK Inbetweeners and are often involved in some very funny scenes. Take for example Mr. Gilbert, a beloved character and one of the best in the series. He delivers some of the best, most memorable lines, and the casting of Greg Davis for this role was perfect. The character's just funny.
Actually, I'm glad we've got this opportunity to chat, as there's a couple of things I want to...
Shut up.
Sure.
Say my name properly.
Mr. Gilbert.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Say thank you, Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert.
Better.
Honestly, it wasn't a joke.
No, there is nothing funny about testicles, Cooper, as you'll discover tomorrow in my office.
What?
Sorry, sir, that sounds a bit weird.
No, it didn't.
Well, the US version butchered him as well. He's seen for about 5 seconds in the first episode. I can't speak for the other episodes because I didn't watch them, but the first episode's enough to go off, trust me. He's seen for about 5 seconds, and all he does is say Will has a punchable face, and that's it.
It was your face, I bet. You know, you do have one of those faces that just makes people wanna... boom.
Funny. With Carly, they took a bit of a different approach, because they just made her copy every single one of the original Carly's lines, and expected that to be funny.
Okay. Best not to call me babes, though.
Let's not call me baby, though.
Are you his chaperone?
Is he your chaperone?
Actually, I think this is pretty cool, Simon. Actually, I think this is cool.
It becomes clear when watching the US Inbetweeners that they just didn't know how to approach it. They attempt to copy some segments from the UK version, literally line for line, but then at other times they'll change a scene and make it unfunnier. Just nothing about the US version is funny. I don't remember even smirking once while watching it, whereas when you watch the UK version, every scene is funny in some way. The UK version gave rise to famous phrases that have become commonplace in actual English schools.
I'm off, mate. See you soon.
All right, mate.
Who was that?
Just a friend.
You've made a new friend?
Oh, a friend? Since when have you had other friends? Oh, friend.
I knew him from when we was doing trials at West Ham. He's moved into the area. He's just some guy.
Some guy? Oh, he's just some guy. Oh, he's just some guy.
That's all it is.
Just a friend from when Jay had trials at West Ham that never happened.
Don't forget the thumbs up.
Oh, friend.
All the US version did was prove that you can't take a British show with humour directly aimed at a British audience, recreate it for an American audience and copy half the jokes, and still expect it to be funny.
Renub her so hard that my penis would be pushed back into my body.
In essence, the UK version is something that shouldn't be remade for any purposes. There is no need to butcher something that was once great, so let's forget the American version ever happened and move on with our lives.